Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Welcome to Future Wrestling Podcast. I'm Logan Myers, the creator and the owner of this channel. And we love going live just for the fans. And please welcome one of my co-hosts from Future Wrestling Podcast, Bronson Tron. Welcome, bro. How are you today?
Great, man. You can follow me at Bronson Tron on Twitter.
So yeah, didn't even have to ask you. You're on top of things. And it's a simple Twitter. Love it. Also, please welcome Megan Starr is in the house. Welcome, Boo Boo.
Hi, Logan. That was a little embarrassing. But anyways, hi, I'm Megan Starr. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much everywhere else at the Megan Starr. That's with 2 E's, 2 R's.
You know I had to mess with you. It's been a while since we've had you on the show, and I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too.
But of course, you can never say that we never miss Travis, because please welcome the guy from the Slam Peaks podcast. Travis is back as a guest tonight. Welcome, bro. How are you today?
How can you miss me if I'll never go away? I find myself in the tangle web of Logan once again. What's going on, man? Glad to be back here on Future Wrestling, talk one of my favorite factions of all time. You can catch me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Reset button, Slam Pigs, Cruise Control with my man here, Logan. Never drew a diamond, Union Smack. And catch me on First Thing in the Morning with your usual co-host, Broski, a KP Today podcast. And I wish Broski could make it. Sorry, couldn't this week.
No, that's... we're going to miss Eric, but hopefully next week he'll be back. We have the DX Old School Edition here on Future Wrestling Podcast. And let's just get started with the very first segment of the evening, that one of my favorite segments of all time. And it is the hot seat segment. Usually I give you guys 60 seconds to answer the questions. I'm giving you guys all the time in the world to answer. First question. Who was the weakest link in DX?
Easy for me, I would say China.
China.
Yep.
Megan, what do you think?
I'm going to go with X-Pac.
We're talking all variations of DX here, right, Logan? Like any incarnation?
Yep, any of them.
I'm going Rick
Yes.
Rude. Talk about an unneeded manager.
Oh,
They did it. Shawn Michaels never needed a mouthpiece, for Christ's sakes.
That wouldn't really
Megan.
count, though, because it was so short, really. I mean, he jumped ship to WCW, and then he was there, a month?
But I think if he never would have, jumped to Nitro, they probably would have kept him in the group for a while, I'm thinking.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
That is true. Why did you pick China, though, Bronson?
I don't know. She's just a big chick. She was Triple H's bodyguard. I mean, that's it. She wasn't a mouthpiece. I don't feel she really added nothing other than her look, really. And then, of course, she started wrestling the men, which was, I wasn't a fan of that. But I think she just had a look, really. That's it, really.
Megan, why'd you pick X-Pac? That's what I would have. Because I thought X-Pac, the initial, 98, he was really over.
Yeah.
He was over, but I was never really an X-Pac. I was a 1, 2, 3 kid fan.
Nice.
93.
So I think maybe the little kid in me was a little offended because I was like, this isn't the guy that I know. I don't know. That could be it. I wasn't really into it. I get why he was there. He was obviously a crackhead and always on one. And he did a great job at what he did. But I think if he wasn't even involved, I wouldn't have noticed. That's why I picked him.
Good point. Honestly, to me, I would have to go with China as well because China was just she just stood there most of the time. I mean, if it was involved in a match with Triple H, yeah, she would interfere. But all around, I think the focus point was more on Road Dogg, X Pac, Billy Gunn, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. So to me, China was just there.
I think she kind of tied the bow on the package. I think in a way, like yeah,
Uh,
looking back, maybe historically she didn't do as much, but as a package, she kind of brought it all together for me. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm with Travis on that one. I think if there
I
was
don't
no
know. It's
China,
yeah, different strokes,
I
man.
yeah, I mean,
I agree. That's a good point. So I mean, there's Bronson. What do you think about China? I mean,
I
uh,
think they. I mean, she was already with Triple H, so then they just added them together. So you have DX, but I think you would have still had DX without her. It would have just been Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Rick Rude or whoever else. Probably still would have had that stable.
yeah,
Would
you
have
would
been
have
different.
Sable.
You know.
yeah.
Sable.
I mean, Sable. That would be that's funny. The second question for the hot seat segment, though, is actually one from Travis. I call it the Travis Corner question. What do you
Ooh.
think stopped Billy Gunn's push? I had to do it, Travis.
Nobody
What do
puts
you
Travis
think?
in the corner. Sorry.
Oh, he loves the corner. What do you think stopped Billy Gunn's push in 1999 when
The
he won
hell
the
is
King
that
of the
supposed
Ring?
to mean, Logan?
And who would you have made the breakout star in 98 DX? Anybody? Travis, you go ahead. It's your question.
All right, I'll answer my own question first. What I thought stopped the push of Billy Gunn in '99 was his mic skills. Probably there. He looked really good. He could work. It's just, man, not his strongest suit. I think they finally figured that out. That he probably wasn't the guy to put in that position. I mean, they could have tried it. I mean, at that point, they were so popular, they really didn't have a lot to lose. You know what I mean? Because the Attitude Era was at like its peak in '99. But I would equate it to mic skills. As far as the breakout star in '98, I think Triple H was the right call at the time because 2000 people can huff and puff about. Can you guys hear me real quick?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I didn't know if I
Yeah.
lost connection. I'm sorry. People now, you look back on like the multiple world title wins from Triple H, and people, they scoff and oh, it's Triple H. But 2000 Triple H is one of like, he was so good, like the match with Cactus Jack, all that stuff, and that you could see him definitely blossoming into that 98, 99. I thought he was the right call, the one they went with in Triple H, honestly.
Megan, what do you think of that question? What would your answer be?
That's a tough one. Because I like Das Man. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I agree with Travis. It's the mic skills. He didn't really have them too much. He had the look. He had the moves. He could. I don't. He's one that needs a mouthpiece. I think he would have done well with maybe having some cute guy on him. Maybe I don't know. Twist it up. And yeah, Triple H, of course. I mean, how do you not go with Triple H during that time? That was his prime. That whole few years there in that bundle. I mean, God, Triple H during that. I mean, Triple H now is a douchebag, and I want to throat punch him. But back then he was good. He was yeah. I mean, maybe okay. If I was going to go a different one, let's go with Road Dogg. He maybe could have taken a push during that time because he was
popular then.
Yeah. I mean, people liked him. He sold the crowd. I mean, don't get me wrong. Who doesn't know the whole intro he does? Come on, we all know it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean I don't mean to cut you off, but speaking of Road Dogg, that like I was gonna let Bronson go next, but I would have to say the reason why Billy Gunn's push in '99 was stopped was like what Travis said with the mic skills. But we all knew that Shawn Michaels and Triple H were the two leaders and the two guys that were most over. But Billy Gunn didn't have the mic skills that Road Dogg did.
Yep.
So to me, if you wanted to say breakout star, Road Dogg to me is the breakout star of that group, even though he wasn't a leader and he wasn't the main focus.
Yeah.
What do you
Road Dogg
think,
was
Bronson?
insanely over at that time, and he sold a lot of merchandise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 And remember I watched the DX DVD a couple months ago, and he even no, it was the interview that he had with JBL on the network, and he straight up said the reason why the only thing that he found his like breakout moment was when he was the hardcore champion. That's what set him apart finally as a singles competitor.
Yeah, it was his first ever little scoot into single. Besides, like, the real Jesse James or whatever that shit was.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Oh God.
Logan's favorite gimmick of all time by far.
Don't forget the tag team when he was with R-Truth. But what was R-Truth's name back then?
Yeah, it was originally K Crush, but then they changed it.
Yeah, Bronson, what is your answer to those two questions?
The Billy Gunn. Yeah, I agree with what Travis said, but I think also though he's just not a top guy. Some people aren't, and he's just not one of those people. And that's it. No matter how over him and Road Dogg were as a singles, people don't really give a fuck about him. So Triple H was definitely the way to go. I mean, look how far he's come, Obviously, people could say, yeah, Triple H, they don't like him because, the 2003, 2004 era was, the bearing era of so many talent. But that's all a matter of opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Can I say one
the
I
next
forgot
question,
to say real quick, Logan, about Billy Gunn?
Go ahead.
Just the obvious
No
politics,
problem.
too, backstage with Billy Gunn, probably. He's probably seen in shoots, like he had beef with Shawn and Hunter backstage at the time. Probably his drug habits may or may not have maybe had something to do with it also. One of the more notorious users. That little circle of guys, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, a lot of backstage factors, too, obviously.
I think that's definitely part of it. That actually might be majority of the reason that his push got stopped back then. And it may have not been his mic skills. I think it was politics backstage. And that's kind of like, that's still to this day, politics backstage can ruin your push, besides Enzo Amore. The next
Hold on.
The next question.
Before we start, that reminds me of Billy Gunn. Remember after DX gimmick, he was called like the one and only Billy Gunn or some shit like that?
Yeah. Yeah, the one Billy Gunn.
That music
was terrible.
Was so
I didn't remember.
Fucking bad. I remember. It was so bad.
So awful. Oh my God, the whole thing was awful.
I'm the one. Just like over and over.
Oh my God, yeah.
And just to piss off Travis, can you play that theme song at the end of the show?
Ooh.
If you're a good little Logan, I can.
You should do a mashup between that one and the Ass Man.
There you go. Doppelganger warfare.
Yeah.
The next and the last question on the hot seat segment is, who was the better leader of DX, Shawn Michaels or Triple H?
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
No,
That's like, yeah, it's no competition there.
That's like saying, do you like Van Halen with David Lee Roth or do you like him with Sammy Hagar?
Well, I gotta ask the question.
Yeah.
Well, so everybody's on agreement on that one?
Shawn Michaels.
No, Triple H. I mean, the DX or Triple H is bigger, so no, I would say, obviously it wouldn't be without Shawn Michaels, but the Triple H DX was way bigger than Shawn Michaels DX.
Megan, you're disagreeing?
I mean, that is a good point because it did go the way it was supposed to go, but I think it would have never happened without Shawn. So I think
that's true.
I'm gonna go with Shawn just because he's the one who created it. Now I think in a positive outlook, he passed the torch on to the proper man, which would be Triple H.
Exactly. And okay.
You know, like it wouldn't, if it would have been dropped to somebody else, it wouldn't have gone the way it gone. So
you can kind of equate, like, you can kind of equate Shawn in that DX role, passing a Triple H, kind of like a movie, like a franchise. Okay, so like my kids are into this series called A Series of Unfortunate Events, based off Lemony Snicket's The Movie with Jim Carrey.
Yes.
But now it's not Jim Carrey, it's the other guy.
No. It's Doogie Howser.
Yeah, he does a really good job. But if that seed wasn't planted with Jim Carrey, he wouldn't have that platform, so to speak, to do it. So I know what you're saying totally. I could go kind of both ways on it now, thinking about it.
I mean, I could go both ways with it too, but my heart is, you know, I'm old school, so anything old school, I cherish it. I love it. I'm a little biased. Just saying.
Maybe you think about it, they're both old school now, though. I mean, shit, that.
Well, okay, old school to me. Okay, so obviously I'm old.
You're not that old. Just saying. I'm very respectful.
Wow, no, just thinking about that shit is both of them 20 years ago now. Fuck.
Well, yeah.
Fucking shit. Wow. Damn.
Actually, I started. It was when I was you know, looking up some stuff on DX and just, you know, looking up some of my history. And when I saw it's been 20 years, I'm like, man, time flies when you're having fun.
Here's the thing. If you want to talk about DX, you want to go to the Genesis when the seed was planted. If the Click at the MSG incident, you know, the send-off with Razor and Diesel, if they didn't have the balls, and I know, like, the Cornettes and the old school guys, so, they're killing the business, you know what I mean, all that shit. But if they didn't have the balls to do that, there may not even have been a DX, because the bookers wouldn't have had the foresight to be like, you know, Triple H and Shawn, just make them a group and storyline if they'd have never done that in a way, you know?
Exactly.
I mean,
it all starts everywhere. It all goes back to something. And yeah, that's just where I stand, is just more of, you know, give the head people a little bit of respect. I mean, but again, it can go either way. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, I don't know. I mean, again, it's like, I don't know. For me, that's a hard choice.
Do you guys think if they would have kept expanding? Like, I think it was brilliant that they always kept it at like 5 as the max, which, you know what I mean? If they would have done an NWO, would have totally, like, you know, like, just.
It would have killed it.
Yeah.
Because look what happened to NWO.
Yeah.
Like, they started adding in all these fuckers, and then next thing you know, we're all just like, okay, we're bored because we don't know who to like and who's on what side and who's red and who's white. I mean, come on now. We don't need all that drama. We just want the basic cool ass shit. Let's fucking fuck shit up.
I legit remember being like 15 years old back in like the fucking dark times of the dirt sheets, the infancy back then. And, like, reading rumors that Val Venus was going to join DX, and, like, I would think about it. Teenage Travis, like, you know, it makes sense. But looking back, I'm so glad they didn't do that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm glad they kept it pretty exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, and didn't... Besides, later down the line when Hornswoggle joined DX.
Or you could say Savio Vega was in DX for, like, a night, because didn't he fill in on a pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, which one was that?
I don't know.
That was the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. You know, when Shawn Michaels. That was that one.
Yeah,
that's why you signed Bronson to that sweet contract right there.
Right there, it has the knowledge.
But honestly, I think the whole purpose of DX is it was never going to be like NWO, right? They weren't taking over anything like NWO was. So I never thought DX was going to have that many members like NWO. Two different things, you know.
It's like NWO's basis was like bring down the system. NWO was just like fuck bitches and money, pretty much. You know, let's run this shit.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys ready for the next segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It is Trivia Mania time, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
Yay!
You guys ready to see who wins this triple threat match?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, the first question. Who was DX's first feud? Was it A, Nation of Domination, B, The Hart Foundation, C, Mankind and Undertaker, or D, The Rock and Mankind? I'm going to go with Megan first.
Oh, God, why me? Oh, first one. Shit. I'm going to go with A.
You're going to go A, Nation of Domination?
Yeah, it's wrong, but yeah.
All right. Bronson, your turn.
I think it was Undertaker and Mankind. I'm going to go with that.
Okay, and Travis.
Heart Foundation.
That one makes sense.
Right?
And the correct answer is Travis. Travis got the very first point.
Thank you.
All right, next question. What year did DX form? Was it 1996, A, B, 2000, C, 1997, or D, 1999?
C, 97.
1956. 97.
Yep.
97.
Going
yeah, 97.
Oh, wow. All right. All right, the next question. What was the date that DX disbanded in a non-wrestling capacity? Was it A, March 1st, 2010, B, April 3rd, 2009, C, December 30th, 2012, or D, May 13th, 2010? I'm going to go with Bronson first.
Wait, what was the first choice? What 2010? What was the date?
All right, it was March 1st, 2010, and D, May 13th, 2010.
I'm go with the first one. A.
Go with March 1st, 2010. All right.
Yep.
Megan, go ahead.
It's one of the 2010s. I'll go with the other 2010 just to even it out, the May one.
All right, and Travis, go ahead.
I'm going to play my creative control card and call bullshit on this question because DX actually broke up, if you want to get technical, and this is proving how much of a fucking nerd I am. WrestleMania 15, Triple H turned his back on DX, if you remember, and helped Shane McMahon pin X-Pac and win the European title. Boom.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
The date on Wiki says...
Well, Wiki can suck it.
Right?
But I'm going to give you all three the point since Travis does have a point on that one. The next question. What was the nickname DX gave Sergeant Slaughter back in the old days? Was it A, Sergeant Stutter, B, Sergeant Slobber, C, Sergeant Soldier, or D, Sergeant Slow? Megan, go ahead.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So I'm going to go with Slobber.
All right, Travis and Bronson.
That seems like it would be Slobber because I remember one segment where they put on that riot gear mask when he was talking.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was like. There's the whole protection section, and I remember Slobber. It sounds right for Slobber because the DX. It's just DX.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. What was the date of when DX Army went to WCW?
Well, are we right or are we wrong?
Right? You guys were right. You Sergeant Slobber.
All right.
All three right. And I do remember them starting that Sergeant Slaughter nickname backstage, and that was like their very first funny nickname that they started giving people.
Sergeant Slobber sounds like the name of a bad gay porn star. I'm just saying. Bad gay porn star.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Look what I've done to your show. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, that was funny right there. I don't care who you are.
Clean up my act here.
The next question was, what was the date of when DX Army went to WCW? Was it A, June 5th, 1995, B, May 4th, 1996, C, April 26th, 1998, or April 27th, 1998?
Oh.
I'm going to go Bronson first.
It's one of the 98s.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's the other? What are the two dates again?
April 26th or April 27th?
Oh my gosh! By a day?
Really? That's weird. Did you have? I'm going to say the 26th.
Maggie, go ahead.
Oh my god. Well, it's by a day, Logan. Shit. I'll go with the 27th just to, I guess it's a day.
All right. Travis, go ahead.
I don't know. The 26th.
No, actually, I changed it to. I'm gonna say the 27th.
He looked it up.
Ah!
It is. Megan got it right.
Woohoo!
There you go.
It was the 27th. So Megan just tied the ball game up with Travis on the last question of the Trivia Mania. What pay-per-view turn on Kane? Was it A, Bad Blood, B, Backlash, C, Unforgiven, or D, WrestleMania?
Fuck.
Anybody can pick.
Unforgiven.
Wait, what
Can
is
you
the
repeat
choice?
them again?
Yeah.
Was it Bad Blood, Backlash, Unforgiven, or WrestleMania?
And I guess.
What pay-per-view did China turn on Kane?
I'm going to say Unforgiven. Unforgiven.
Unforgiven?
Yeah.
All right. What'd you say?
Backlash.
Okay, and Travis?
When China turned on Kane? Or when Kane what?
Yes. What pay-per-view did China turn on Kane to help Triple H beat him?
Was WrestleMania an option?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
WrestleMania 15 is my answer.
Very detailed.
And Travis won this Trivia Mania by 1 point.
Oh.
Trivia.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Those 2 years are like my bread and butter. Like my knowledge on 98, 99 is ridiculous.
Had 3 points. Travis had 5, and Megan had 4. So close. Travis, you're gonna have to be on the next podcast so you can defend your title. I'm just kidding.
Well, Logan. I mean, like we talked about last time, we still got to do that 93 one. Me and Travis got a lot to talk about in that one, man.
And then you go 94 to settle the score after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't actually. While we're talking about it, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget January will be debuting a brand new show called Future Wrestling Rebound. And it will have Bronson and Travis on the show with me. And we will be going back in time to old school Raw and old school SmackDowns. But the next thing we're going to talk about, it's not a segment, we're just going to talk about it. What was your favorite DX moments? Anybody can go.
The night X-Pac came back and cut that promo.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
When they did the when they did the promo where it was like he was the president but he just kept cussing.
Yes.
But like I remember I had the DX. They had like a VHS and it was uncensored at the time. And
I remember that.
Yes, it was totally uncensored. It was badass.
Probably that.
Wasn't that the time that Shawn Michaels pulled his pants down and showed his ass?
Try to forget that.
Yeah, I try to forget that.
Well, it's kind of hard not to.
When they had the fucking cookout and he held the sausage right at his cock and he's like, "Look how big it is." Remember that? Strip poker, that was a good segment. I remember.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, mine was DX mocking Nation of Domination by dressing up like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Sensation is so good, and like he's still kind of active, like, but he just does like YouTube stuff now. But it's like one of the best impersonators ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Broski was saying they used to DM and kind of talked.
Yeah. Yep.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Ooh, wasn't DX the first team to ever shave the Legion of Doom's head or some shit? And then LOD came back as LOD 2000 like a month or two later.
Yeah, with Sonny as their manager.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they were like the first team to ever kind of really get to the LOD like that, I guess. And maybe that's not talking about enough in a way.
Well, kind of. Well, I'd say kind of, because if you remember, that started before they were DX, right? When they were just New Age Outlaws. So I guess kind of.
Yeah.
You know, there were a
That's
few
when the New Age
before
Outlaws just wore like South Park shirts before they're in DX.
I don't even remember that. Wow, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do remember Golga dressing up. You know, R.I.P. John Tenta would wear the Cartman shirt and he would come out with the Cartman plushie there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
No.
You think he hated it? You think he hated doing that, or just like he just happy to have a job?
He probably didn't like it, but then as soon as they hired the Big Show, they let him go. So.
Because there's no way that fucking Earthquake watched South Park, probably. He's probably like, what the hell is this little cartoon guy you're giving me? Because South Park was brand new at the time, you know?
Yeah, it was.
It was on
Yeah.
their second.
This
their
isn't
second
an
or third
oddities
season.
show, though, so I won't do that to you guys.
I mean, what did it last? A year? Maybe a year and a half, and then it was done?
Was it even a year?
ICP came in and just went away.
Yeah, it went away quick.
It went away. It was almost kind of like it was just somehow South Park paid them to. Can you make a character for a little bit? That's kind of what it felt like.
I feel like the oddities, especially when like ICP came in, they weren't as
Oh,
bad
God.
as a lot of people say they were. Like they're pretty over, you know.
Yeah, but they had that. What was it? Backyard Wrestling. They were in that video game.
Yeah.
Yes,
anybody remember that?
Yep. Never played it.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's a shit fest.
Yeah.
It's a shit fest. It's a fucking awful game. I played it. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, so when ICP came out, yeah, I mean, of course they're over. You still see their symbol. Is it a symbol? The little guy with that axe
or whatever.
Yeah, you still see people holding signs up every once in a while in the crowd, even today. So
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that they went in there at the time that they went in there, but so I'm gonna actually go with I liked the WCW Takeover for DX because that was the moment where I was like, I like these dudes. So
I think that's what put him over the top finally. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah,
as baby
faces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the moment where I was. So that was during the time where I was a flip flopper. During that time I would flip in between of whatever was better.
Oh, I did the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of like I wanted to see that happening. So that's what got my eye on DX was that moment.
Another great thing about like the flip and the channels, Megan, and stuff like that, you say is like WCW would have the replay right after, so you didn't even have to a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean that wasn't
kind of good watching it live though. You know?
Yeah, If there's like a title match, like when Luger beat Hogan for the title, I definitely was there on Nitro.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Oh, that's right.
Or Goldberg. Nobody was watching Raw when Goldberg got a shot at the title. Everybody should come clean on that. Everybody was watching Nitro. That was the peak of Nitro, I feel like.
Oh my God, when Goldberg freaking like super glued his freaking head.
I wasn't even the biggest Goldberg fan back then. I was like 15
I wasn't
16.
either.
But I was like, I think everyone dreaded Hogan with that title so much. It was just like finally something new in WCW.
Yeah, that.
You guys know what my favorite like serious moment was when they had the reunion of Triple H and Shawn Michaels in the ring, and Triple H, when Shawn Michaels turned around, he hit him with the pedigree. That was when I was just like, wow.
Match. Yeah, good one, Logan.
Yeah,
that's a really good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I don't even think about that one a lot, and that was actually executed really well. Like everyone was, they did it. Then all of a sudden it came out of nowhere. The pedigree. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about it, he hadn't wrestled in 4 years, Shawn Michaels. So and he still had it. That's why he's one of the greatest of all time.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's one of those things that got the fans so good. Like with the Mark Henry retirement thing. Like in this day and age.
Oh yeah.
With the internet to just get the fans that well was really done, executed well.
Speaking of that, man, he should have retired right after that Mark Henry. Then that would have been good, but he just withered away in obscurity.
Withered away the table of 3 episodes.
Yeah.
He's in the new Marine movie.
Is he?
That's what he's doing now. Yeah, he's filming with Becky Lynch and The Miz. Yeah, they're like all over everything together. So he's going to be in the new Marine movie. There you go.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think DX, back, the last question I had on the trivia was, no, that wasn't the question. When we talked about our favorite moments, and I said DX mocking the Nation of Domination, wasn't that like the peak of when The Rock was starting to become the leader? Or was he like the main guy, like the main leader then?
Oh, yeah, I
Farouk,
think
like,
he was already in because, like, fuck.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me think a second. It was like Farouk. He dumped Farouk. Wait, that's not right. He split from Farouk, like, in, like, Mania season that year, I think. And, like, Farouk had a horrible babyface run. It was awful. And they teamed
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
God.
it's like
Yeah.
Scorpio
Yeah.
after that. Ugh,
I don't even remember him teaming with Too Cold Scorpio. Wow.
so bad.
It was awful.
do you think, like, the question I was going to ask is, do you think DX, in that feud with Nation of Domination, do you think that, like, helped The Rock get over more than just The
Absolutely.
Rock being with the Nation of Dom?
Absolutely.
So you guys,
Yeah.
Fully
you think-
loaded. Okay. I think that fully loaded match at 98, where they went the 30-minute draw with Triple H and The Rock, I think that match made them main eventers at Vince's eyes backstage. That's a really good match.
Oh, yeah.
And those guys were right on the cusp of breaking through, and finally, like, they were given time. They told a great story in that match if you go back, and I think that's what did it. And you saw not even a month later they had the ladder match is kind of overrated. It's not that it's a slow methodical ladder match, just a different ladder match. It's okay. Just don't go into it expecting like flippity doodahs and shit like that. But
Well, if you're comparing it to ladder matches, it's no Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 10.
Oh.
That we can agree on.
perfect example.
God.
But I think, do you
Yeah.
remember Breakdown in Your House where it was the three-way cage match with Shamrock, Mick Foley, and The Rock? The Rock was still being kind of booked as a heel, but I think that night is when that crowd just made him a fucking instant babyface.
Oh, yeah.
It was coming.
Yeah.
But the people wanted to get behind The Rock because he was so cool at the time.
But he really started to make noise around the time he feuded with Austin for the belt, for the IC belt in, what was it, Survivor Series or something, whatever that was. And Stone Cold throws the belt over the river.
Yeah, but I think in that one more, I think Austin kind of made him look like a doofus, whereas like the Triple H feud, it was kind of more like serious 50-50,
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean.
But I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, I thought, the question, me asking that question, because I just felt like that did help him in the long run with that feud. And I think Triple H and The Rock, that anything that those two guys did together, was like for the Intercontinental Champion in the ladder match. I think, it helped transition them into stars. And it really did help the Intercontinental Championship back then. It really did help them.
Yeah.
And it helped the title itself.
Because it was coming off of like,
yeah.
it was coming off of feuds with like Rocky Maivia and the Sultan like a year before. So to see it like have some credibility again, it was nice.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that the Sultan is fucking Rikishi.
At
Right
WrestleMania, they put the Sultan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
What a
shudder to
terrible
think
gimmick
though,
that
like
was.
how much longer it would have taken both guys to get over to the main event picture had they not had each other to work with. Like you got to admit,
Oh, God.
Vince McMahon is the luckiest promoter of all time. You can't even write like timing like that to have all those guys at the same time in the same promotion. You think about it. It was like 5 guys. It was Foley, Taker, Kane, Rock, Triple H, Austin, right? Those are your main guys. But thing is, all those guys had tremendous chemistry with each other. It was beautiful. And we're
Yeah.
never going to see anything like that again. You know what I mean? And I think that's why the Attitude Era, it's waxed on and talked about so much. It was just timing impeccable.
Right.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I don't think Vince McMahon is a genius like everybody says he is. I think he just got lucky,
He's a very capitalistic businessman. He's very savvy,
Yeah.
but he's not a genius. He just lucky.
No, he's
No.
definitely not. He's no like he's never really had a good mind for wrestling. He's not a Paul Heyman type of guy.
Yeah. Plus, Steve Blackman was there too, so come on, can't beat that.
Oh God, yeah. And let's not forget Test. He was amazing. He's one of the greatest of all time, man.
R.I.P. I just poured out some of my 40 for Test.
Yeah. Just before he died,
It's actually
he was in
Mountain Dew.
TNA.
Exposed.
They called him Andrew the Punisher Test. Or no, Martin. That was his
So
name.
bad.
And TNA. Yeah. Oof.
Save that for the old school test episode, Logan, one day. Huh?
He's
There
not
you go.
that was actually not even on my list. That
Oh, it wasn't? Why would it be?
no.
Well, then
No.
we got to talk about Beaver Cleaver as well, man. That's a classic.
Hell yeah.
Is there any other like DX moments that you guys want to talk about before we get into the last segment of the night?
What about worst moment in DX? Because that
Yeah,
Hornswoggle.
let's do that.